Gathering that turned deadly. Now, after 7 weeks in hospital, the sole survivor of the Leongatha lunch is back home. So, does he hold the key to solving this mushroom mystery?
It is a shout and joy, hallelujah, is what it is.
Let's hope and pray that he can come back and preach.
Pastor Ian Wilkinson's congregation gathered at the Corumburra Baptist Church in Victoria to celebrate his miraculous recovery. But there are still so many unanswered questions.
It's a homicide investigation. They'll continue to search for the truth to what happened there.
The truth will come out, and then we'll all be able to, in a sense, relax, because then there'll be some closure.
I'm not yet aware whether homicide have had the chance to speak with that man since he's been released, but they will speak with him and step through that investigation in a methodical manner.
The 68-year-old could tell investigators exactly what happened at the family's beef Wellington lunch. What we know so far is on July 29, Erin Patterson served up a meal to her former in-laws, Don and Gail Patterson, Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson, and Heather's husband, Ian. Erin's ex-husband, Simon, pulled out of the lunch at the last minute. According to Erin, her kids were at the movies. The next day, all 5 adults went to hospital with food poisoning symptoms, but Erin wasn't admitted. For dinner, she served leftovers from lunch to her children, with the mushrooms scraped off. Then, tragedy. Gail and Heather died in hospital.
Devastated, absolutely devastated.
People that were so giving. I'm just so distressed over it.
The next day, Don became the 3rd fatality.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you kids?
I just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Although a suspect, Erin denies any wrongdoing.
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened.
So as official investigations continue, where to from here?
Xanthé Mallett is a criminologist at the University of Newcastle, and she's here to unpack it. Xanthé, we have 3 people dead, a mother under suspicion and a town divided. And after nearly 2 months, we still don't have any real answers. So what's taking so long?
Well, we have to remember it's a multiple death investigation. The police have to be incredibly thorough. They have to follow every line of inquiry. There's a lot of evidence that they have to wade through before they make any public statements. So there will be a lot of work going on behind the scenes. And actually 2 months is not long in an investigation of this nature. So I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer before we actually get any answers.
Xanthé, how key is Ian Wilkinson to solving this case?
He's absolutely essential. So he's probably only just well enough for the police to interview him. But remember, he is the only survivor of that lunch that can give an independent account of what happened, aside from Erin Patterson. So he can either confirm or refute what she says happened. He can speak to who ate what demeanours were, what conversations happened, etc. So he's really going to be critical for the police unravelling what happened on that lunch.
And what sort of things will the police want to know from him? Details of the lunch, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, who arranged the lunch, what the purpose of the lunch was, and obviously how Erin Patterson, behaved at that lunch, and who served who what, and how much she ate, for example. So they really need to build a big picture of what happened on that actual day, but also the preceding days. So, how was she before that? They'll be talking to friends and neighbours, etc. Besides collecting all of that forensic evidence that's really going to inform them as to whether this was some awful accident or something potentially more sinister.
Xanthé, I understand the potential for him to provide some of those details, but should we perhaps be cautious about getting our hopes up? Like, I don't remember the last time I went to a lunch or a dinner and I kept track of who served what to whom and who ate what and all these sorts of things, much less than having to answer questions about it like months later.
You have to remember, though, this is probably going to be a very memorable experience for him, given what happened afterwards. So, these images could be burnt in his mind. We don't know. We don't know what he has to offer police. And until they have the time and the space, and when he's well enough to sit down and talk to them properly and go through all of those details, and they'll be quite gentle, because although he is obviously out of hospital now and he's on the mend, he may still have lifelong effects from this potential death cap mushroom poisoning. So the police are going to take a little while to unravel all of that. But you have to remember, we have all of the other evidence that they're also assessing the dehydrator, for example. So there's going to be a big picture picture that the police are building in relation to what happened.
All right, Xanthé, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.